Okay, here we go. Right. Hello, everybody. This is not your standard intro. And you know why? That's because this is not your standard program. Oh, no, 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 it is not. Sit back, relax, take a ride. Let me paint a mental picture. You're on a beach, you're swimming. All of a sudden, somebody yells, "Shark." You see a big fin coming towards you, and you realize it's not a shark, it's the Live with Neve show. Hey, assholes, how are you? Welcome to Live with Neve and happy Friday. I hope your week is good. There's a lot to talk about today, just in the news that we're all talking about, and of course, California is at the top of the pile. And I've got friends out there and friends of friends who lost everything. And all I can say is choose your charities out there carefully. Scrutinize these people. They're not. They don't always have anybody's best intentions. There's a lot of fraud out there. People are already have got hotlines and they're scamming people. So if you're going to give money to any of these, stick with something that's a good charity. And I don't mean the Red Cross because they have a really crappy ratio of income that's spent for administrative services and leasing the board members Mercedes and shit like that. They have like a 15%, 85-15 or something ratio. Whatever it was, I think they've changed it because there was a lot of complaints about it. But there are much more. You can any charity look up their info, Google them, and see what the hell you're getting into. In other news, we have here. Let me pull this up. Burning Teslas add toxic pollution. Let's see. Security ring of steel around DC. And Elon, thank you. Rocket breaks up and disrupts air traffic in Miami. Passenger jets dodged. I predict that we're going to have lots more people complaining about Elon Musk because Trump won and Elon helped him. And a lot of people are out there losing their mind. Other stories, we've got troops, drones, and fences all around the White House. And we've also got the CIA declassified book detailing how the world will end, which I've read some passages out of it. It's not very pleasant ending. It involves the Earth basically having a huge volcanic event in many places at the same time. And all I can tell you, you know what? It's like Warren Zevon said, I believe I can stay. This hotel will last until I pay my bill. And that's the way I look at these things. Who'd have thought LA would have been on fire this week? It's still going on. Think about that, folks, because in Los Angeles right now, there's huge swaths of houses that are gone. They're in places that I really love and often drove through and think about the beauty of the nice places in LA. And that's really the topic of the week. That all this other crap, we still don't know what's up with the drones. And don't, if you're in New Jersey, shoot a drone, okay? Your town probably has municipal ordinance, but do not screw around with these morons with the drones. I know it sounds like fun, but you'll get arrested. And we got another guy, passenger plane, aborting their landing over mystery GPS jamming near the NATO-Russia border. Yes, everybody, we've got Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, whether you love him, hate him, somewhere in the middle, he is your president. And so act accordingly. And we have here a rabbi that says psychedelics are the elephant in the room in a sacred Jewish text. Well, we'll have to see what some of our rabbis say about that. He might be some, guy who's calls himself a rabbi and, I don't know anything about him. I'll have to get with my expert on Judaism to help me out and walk me through this guy. That's you. That's right. I have my buddy here lurking in the shadows. We're trying a new thing today, and that's basically letting the show just run wild because I don't have a guest. Or here we go. I see a guest. It's the lovely and talented Mandy She of Twisted Ginger, rock and roll at its finest. Everywhere they'll kick your ass, they'll pull your hair out, they'll beat you like savages. And boy, you're gonna think it's great. You're gonna love every minute of it. I liked it so much I bought the company. It's like my hair plugs. See, I used to have no hair and I got plugs, and look at me now. Got a beautiful head of hair, except for the big bald spot on top, but we can't see that. Can I hide my face? Oh, that would be great. I could get a werewolf vibe going on and do the plugs on the face like the wolf boy of Perugia or whatever the hell he was, Perugia. Any rate, Let's see. Memphis Gold's supposed to be coming on with us. So otherwise, if he doesn't show, it'll be weird because this will be the third show without him, and I'll run a show anyway because we love Memphis. And okay, I've had enough, and I think you guys have too. The news is just full of bullshit. Let me just give it one last glance, see if there's anything you're really missing. I want to look into the rabbi saying it's cool to eat some psychedelics like mushrooms or something, see what that's about. And then we have a cop who, this guy is a drug counselor, and he moonlighted as crack cocaine dealer. All right, people, it's not, remember, drugs are bad, okay? That's bad shit, people. Do not snort cocaine and moonlight as a crack dealer while you're trying to help other drug addicts get out of their problem. Jesus, what a country we live in. You know, I tell you, it's Friday, guys. You know, this past week has been insane in my life, and we got a lot done. We had some work done on the house. We had to have inspections done, and it involved my landlord coming over. So my girlfriend went on a posse to clean everything, and we did. She did too, the majority of it. But it's incredible now because the house looks like, it really looks beautiful upstairs, and we're trying to be more minimalistic. It'll be a challenge to see, though, if I can get the same nice, clean look at the touch of a woman in my studio, because this place is like a rat's nest. And my buddy Rick can attest to you. It's a pile of guitars, strings, boxes, things that go bump in the night. And in the next few weeks, if anybody out there is looking to buy a guitar, I got a bunch of guitars for sale. I've got snare drums for sale. I've got a bunch of crap. I'm trying to weed the herd out and just have what I need. Maybe buy some more gear. I'm going to weed the curds out. No turds. Can you hear that online, Mandy?
What?
Can you hear Rick commenting?
No.
No. Okay, good. No, you're not on there, buddy.
Okay, good.
You've been blocked. So what's happening, Mandy? How are you?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
All right.
Glad it's
Well,
Friday.
glad to hear you.
Yeah. How you been? You're saying it's crazy.
Shut up, man. Don't say shit like that on the radio.
What?
Yeah, but they might. I hear you.
Tell Rick
So
to stop being a creep.
easy, brother.
Yeah.
Keep it PG.
I sense vibes. Like
I'll try.
You can't fool an empath. You know what I mean?
She said she can hear your vibe. She knows what you're saying.
Yeah, I said stop being a creep. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I do too. That's why we're pals, because I know he's full of it, just like me. He loves your poses.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, they're good-looking poses. So anybody cannot deny that. Good-looking woman out rock and rolling. So how was your gig last week? Let's talk about that.
Oh, it was awesome. I must say, that it was great. There's a bunch of people there. There's a lot of people there. I've been just trying to really work on finding our tribe, because that's really the hardest part. It's like, it's when you have a vision, like a musical vision, and there's like something you want to do.
You gotta tweak it.
Yeah. And and even though like things were going great, and it's just really great. That I don't even know what else to say about it. We rocked and rolled.
Tell everybody where you were at, just so they know where
we were playing. This last weekend we played at Rockies in Rahway, New Jersey. Twisted Ginger.
Great.
Twisted Ginger rocked Rockies, and we will be
Rahway,
back there.
Rockies.
Yeah. We're going to be back there on March 15th.
March 15th at Rahway.
Yes, we will be
now,
back
let me ask
there.
you, is that in the prison?
No. Why would it be in the prison? I mean, come on. What kind of, who would
I'm playing
with
you. When you drive there, do you see the prison?
I'll tell you what, though. When I was in high school, our jazz band played at the prison. I remember that.
Say that again?
When I was in high school, my jazz band.
Rick, be quiet. I'll have to cut you
crap,
off.
Rick. Seriously,
He's killing
Rick?
me.
Yeah, he's
killing me because I can't hear you.
Yeah. And everyone else in Neve land is like, what the hell is going on?
They have no idea, but that gives us a little. That's why people watch. They think it might be a train wreck, depending on the guest we have or don't have. I talked to Memphis on Wednesday,
Uh-huh.
and he said he'd be here. I don't give him any grief. When I talk to him, he's been doing family stuff all through the holidays, and he's well. And he said, "Yeah, I'll be here." So something comes up, and we have that understanding with everybody. People out there watching who are guests. When we're on and we have guests like him, if they don't show up, yeah, we'd like to have them back. But you can always tell if somebody's really being real, like they have a gig that night. I don't
Yeah.
expect them to come on here and talk smack with us because they got a gig. You got to load in, you got to load out, all those
Yeah,
fun things
there's
that musicians
business.
do.
That's what yeah,
You got
that
to take
there's
care
that
of your
sort of
business,
business.
man.
Yeah, take
And if
care
you
of
ain't
the
taking care of
business.
business, you got to be a businessman. And it's just if you're not a businessman or a businesswoman, and there's no conclusion in between. It just is or it isn't. We
Yeah, your
know what a
hair's
boy
getting
is.
long. What happened? I feel like I
I
haven't
know.
seen you in
You
years.
know what?
I don't know
Have you
why
seen the
though.
new Wolfman movie?
No, you usually have your hair in a ponytail. That's why.
Yeah, and I don't have. I'm looking
That's
around here because I
why.
usually have like hair ties everywhere.
Yeah.
And I can't believe in my studio
You
I don't
have
have
that you
one.
have that like professor sort of look now. Now you
Oh,
look like
okay.
a,
I'm the
like a
dean
mad
of discipline.
scientist. Yeah. No, no, not like that. Like
No, I'm
like a
being
mad
funny.
scientist sort of professor. Like you should
Oh,
have a
that's a
lab coat.
good thing. Yes, I am a mad
Yeah.
scientist. And in
Yeah.
boarding school, I majored in pharmacological studies and amateur pharmaceutical
You're
sales,
great at
allegedly.
it. That's
It was
great.
good. It was fun.
Yeah,
Go hit on
yeah.
the freshman chicks.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Hi, girls. What's happening? What the hell? Yeah, you're right, Rick. But I was jailbait too, so it was all on the up and up. It was kosher.
Listen, this
I
whole
was blessed
talking to
by a
Rick
rabbi,
when the
and he told me I
audience
had the
can't
Schwartz.
hear. This
I
whole
have the
talking to
Schwartz,
Rick.
people.
Wait a second, Neil. Neil. The people out there can't even hear what you and Rick are talking about. We feel
Wait,
left out. I'm speaking for the people out here too. We feel
they
left
feel
out.
left out.
Oh yeah, because we
How
can't hear
come?
what you and Rick are talking about. And we're
They
just
can
like,
hear it.
no, we can't. So
Oh,
there's a
but
whole other
but trust me.
conversation going on
No, no,
without us.
I'm gonna have to focus. But you know how it is. It's hard to focus some days.
No, I know. That's why I'm trying to bring it
Rein it
up.
in. Um, well, so let me ask you, what is our topic? I think the California thing and the fire is kind of the topic du jour, really.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
anyone who's a musician has friends out there that this is affecting, and that's what it
it,
is, you know?
it is. And a friend of mine is flying out Sunday,
Mhm.
and who the hell knows? I asked him. I said, you better have better have insurance on that ticket because depending on the way the wind shifts, the air. I just don't trust flying in planes into like volcanic areas or big fires. When you're in an area that kind of is going on,
Yeah.
I'd rather fly 100 miles away and drive.
Mhm.
Like go to Vegas, it's really cheap. Rent a car and you're off. It's like Hunter Thompson, man. I don't drink anymore, but I know how to get my friends in the car having a good time while I drive. Woo! Ah! Get out there and rent yourself a big ass Cadillac, load it up with your friends, let them drink. There might be a place for that in the world. Have a what do you call it, a chauffeur service instead of these big lame limousines.
Well,
Buy something like a
sure.
big 1950s fucking limo that's all tricked out and you can pack like a dozen people into,
Yeah.
and you can put the top back. So they're all riding outside if they want, or you can put it up so you don't blow their quaff off. But you could have the
Yeah.
mobile party, have two drivers who are, on call, one sitting there, the other one just watching all the drunks, make sure they don't get out of hand.
Well,
It'll
yeah.
be,
Where I went to college, SUNY Potsdam, they have the Korean School of Music. Like there,
mm-hmm,
and there's we had what was called the drunk bus,
no
because
shit.
like yeah, like I mean, it wasn't really like called the drunk bus, but it was like we all called it the drunk
Yeah,
bus.
well, that's what you
But
called it,
the
yes.
university, like there was a bus that would like meet you downtown. And when it's cold as hell, like usually we'd walk, but
Right,
if it was like
right.
really, really cold, which it got like that a lot. I mean, that's Potsdam, New York. That's right on the border of Canada.
Yeah, I know.
So,
It's way the fuck up
yeah.
there. I had a friend of mine who's a boarding school, one of the dorm parents,
Uh,
and he was from up there. And I was like, "What the fuck do you do in the wintertime?" And he
yeah.
said the same thing everybody else does. I just go out, I do my thing.
Yeah, bundle up.
Hey, you
Bundle
know what
up and
though?
get used
I,
to it.
I get used to it, and like I won't take a coat when I go somewhere. I'll just like today. I went over to my friend's house, had this on, and he comes out. He's all bundled up. He's like, "Man, aren't you freezing?" The sun was shining where I was standing, like on his porch, and I said, "Let's just
So
sit
it
out
probably
here."
felt kind of nice.
In his garage, it was all cold and fucking nasty, but
Yeah.
sitting in the sun, so we sat out there and commiserated,
Mm,
discussed some, possibilities of world politics.
mm.
People, what do you think? Could I have done any worse than the Biden? I don't know. I think that question, somebody else out there, answer it for me, please.
Could
And
you
not
have
you,
done
Rick. I hear you
worse?
in the back room there. Yeah, I
Well,
got him low.
all right, I got a question for you before I
Sure.
answer this question. The if could you have done worse? Now, is your goal to try to do worse, or are you like, is this like
No,
a?
no.
Oh, all right.
My goal would be to try and like do definitely better, but I
Oh,
wouldn't
then
go in there.
you
Listen,
could
I'm
have
no
done better.
genius.
Then
I know
yes,
this. I
Neil.
would say I would let
Yes,
roadies run the world. I'd hire better
yes.
people than we hire now at extraordinary rates. Believe me, it's a good thing that Elon's looking at what they pay and what they do, time motion studies. You got to be smart. People have to have jobs that actually do something and are good for society. Like, teachers, uh, childcare. That's a big thing to talk about for people out there who have kids. And I've been there. I had two children in daycare back in the 80s and 90s. And I spent a fortune, my wife and I. In fact, she did part-time work there just to pay off our freaking daycare bill. But they pay these people shit. They've been paying them 15 bucks an hour at some of these places, and some now get 20 if they're really great and they've been there and they kick ass as a mom, and they get paid shit. If the priorities of the country were a little more smart, we would take education super serious for
Well,
everybody.
I
And
mean, this here's part of it. Like in my opinion, it's part of like the grand structure to kind of you know um make America a little bit less intelligent and just more like worker bees,
yes,
so
they're
that way.
telling. Yeah, I think they teach them what to think as opposed to how to think. And if you
Mm,
question too much, God forbid you question something if it's not the norm. Like in a school setting, if the teacher doesn't like you and you don't play the party line, they can influence your grade a hell of a lot. A lot of people, it's a lot easier to get along and just go, sure, I'm digging
well,
my women's studies
I'm saying
class.
it's the government's fault. It's like government
It
funding,
is.
like taking money away from education so that way people are more reliant on jobs that require you to have child care, and then there's like, you know what I mean? It's like kind of convoluted. It's like that's why there's a um you
Head
know,
Start. Is
people
that what
are
you're saying?
living how they're living.
Oh,
I
well,
mean,
a lot of problems come, like you just said, people are living the way they are. Some of them not very well, and they're bad to their
yeah.
kids or whatever. And I mean, you see the things on stories on TV, and the quotes of Tony Soprano's mom, "They're throwing babies out the window." That shit's not really going on, dude.
No,
So I'm
that's
just
yeah,
being
that's not going
facetious.
on. That's not
But
going on.
there's
Yeah.
people that you bring their kids in, and what they
Mm.
have at home is sometimes violence-filled craziness. They have drunken shit, and you don't know when they bring these kids in what goes on at home. And unfortunately, society, and education in general, it's not a funding issue. It's about hiring the right teachers to shrink teachers, not unions, but the mid-level managers that make big dollars to kind of just be mid-level managers in the education system.
But
There's a,
it like
there's a
inside a school, there aren't like too many mid level managers. It's
but,
like,
but in the board of education and stuff there
oh
is.
yeah, that
That's where
that's just yeah, that's earth durfy. That's like
that's like just the bureaucracy that gets fed
yeah, yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah.
and
That's
they
the
just hang.
politics of it all right
And,
there. That's
and
yeah.
listen, a lot of them know a lot, but remember, the world's changed a lot. A lot of the people who were trained to do this job are working now. They're not an easy ray. Blucher. If anybody gets that reference out there, send us a message, and I don't know, we'll send you a free hat. I got a couple of hats here. I've got to give away some Gone Country hats. I
Good.
don't have
Stuff
one to
one
put
in
on there.
Rick's mouth so he doesn't get in your way.
Yeah, Rick, I'd send you one of these hats. You'll look like you're joining the redneck Riviera down in Tennessee or something.
My
or in
goodness.
Alabama. A Jewish cowboy, he said. There you go. Well, you've been on a horse many times. You kind of are a cowboy in a way. You think about it. He's a horse guy, you know. He's done all kinds of jumping and crazy shit. It's a great way to have fun, but it's a good way to die too. You know, that's what makes it kind of fun.
Well, sure. A lot of things that are fun are dangerous, you
Of
know?
course, the real fun stuff will always make your mom cry if she saw it. You know, what are you doing? You had to raise you? My God, what's wrong with you? Come on and have some pasta. You're okay, my baby.
Yeah,
Mwah, you know, my mom's
that's my
funny.
mom
She's
all the way. Yep,
You know,
that's
my
my
mom's
mom.
got that attitude, but the one thing she didn't get in that, she loves me to death, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't like the kid who got spoiled by her. Like she was a tough mom. She was a typical Italian mom, you know. You sit down and do your homework, Ernie. You know, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
rats. And I tried everything I could to scheme. So I just learned in school like anybody does. Do what they want. It's easier. Just get it over with. Do your work. Do it as good as you can and get the fuck out of there. And that became I always had like band stuff to go do, either at school or music lessons, or have to go vacuum this music shop that I worked at. It was
Mm-hmm.
always, I had a plan from a young age, and I had a lot of fun with it. The best time of life is when you're young and learning a lot, learning
Yeah.
music and stuff. Oh
Yeah, and
my
it's all
gosh,
new. Yeah, it's
it's
all new and
new.
exciting. You're like, whoa,
And then when you
whoa,
can
you
do it,
know?
like you're like, wow, I can play around on the key.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit. Nobody else really
Yeah.
gives a shit. But everybody in the band, we all have, when you're in school band and you're hanging around like in music class where you have a band thing going on,
Uh-huh.
it's the best fun of all the shit you do at school.
Oh my
I mean,
God, it is.
I have
Yeah,
a cool
yeah.
band teacher. That's always the best.
Yes, that's exactly what I had. And it's like
Yeah.
yeah, John Lynch, he was our he is our fearless leader, you know? And
Wow.
it like we still stay in touch, which is a beautiful thing, you know? And
Absolutely. Um,
yeah, but like
yeah,
our
I
friends,
stay
we
in
had a blast, you
That's a
know?
good thing that you stay in touch with your peeps because it's a. I have a lot of friends in Florida and stuff, and I try to keep up with them pretty regularly. Even if you leave and go somewhere for a while, you never know when you're going to get back. It's like in my case, I have a ton of relatives in Florida, and ideally, if anybody in Florida knows of a small bungalow somewhere, I say that in the Gainesville area by the university, or maybe near the University of Central Florida somewhere. I'm looking. It's got to be small so I can go down there and keep my present place. After the renovations they did, it's just so nice here now.
Mm,
I've been paying rent on this place for all these years, and now it's really nice. And I got 2 more years of lease left, but I don't really want to lose it.
yeah.
I have to tell you, it's really hard to find a place like this. My landlord's a good landlord, and life is good. Everything's expensive here, but you can have expensive and as long as you've got a place that makes you feel really comfortable and chill when you come home.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what's important is the peace of mind. It's your daily quality of life. Like what do you deal with when you go home, you know?
yeah, Rick. When I come home, that's always what I look for. Is real peace. I'm sorry, I'm having to respond with a two-dimensional conversation, but some things have to go unmentioned on the Live with Neve show for propriety. Propriety of bounds, as you know, I don't like using the F word because it's too fucking, atrocious of a thing to do on the air. On Neve Public Radio, uh, I'm paid. I get an extra $5 per F bomb. Part of the deal.
That'd be good. That's a good deal.
You guys can't hear it. My friends sitting in the background. I've never been able to do this where I have somebody just sitting here hanging around, lurking in the back room.
But why is he even there? I gotta
He's there
ask.
because when we were doing the show, we were talking
Okay.
about some interesting musicals crap. And I just jumped into the show because we were kind of noticed it went right on at like 4:59. A minute later, it came on. But all is well here. I've had a great week. I feel really chill and relaxed. After all the
Uh,
work we've done the past 2 weeks, I cut up a fucking grand piano. I don't know if you saw that on the news on my Facebook page, but we had this grand piano And people,
Uh-huh.
there is no such thing as a free grand piano. The thing about it was, I think that Frank Sinatra had gotten laid on it, or at least sang in its presence back in the 40s. The
Uh-huh.
big son of a bitch. We fought to get it into my third floor apartment. It was
Yeah,
like
that's not
insane.
easy. That's
I hired
it.
huge Russian guys. One guy was so big, he held up one side of that thing coming down the hill and downstairs that are like old and heavy. And there's three of them, and the one guy had the business end of it. And
Uh-huh.
I can tell you, I took the keyboard weighs like 200 pounds. I dragged it, we dragged that down the stairs, just Annie and I. We put it on a piece of cardboard and ran it out. But it's not fun. There's no easy way to get rid of it. Or
Yeah.
I have this huge bridge and soundboard from a grand piano sitting up there on the deck. I
Mm.
don't know. I'm waiting for 4th of July. Maybe we'll throw it off the deck. It'll make a hell of a sound when it hits the ground.
Oh yeah.
I've
Yes,
already recorded
yes.
some sound effects. Maybe we'll put them in the new app. You notice today we didn't run the usual stream into it, and there was a reason for that.
Oh
It's just
yeah?
the new year, and I'm going to try my best not to use it. We got to get a new intro, and I'm working on it. But I'm not using the same old dead intro. I can put on one of our guests' music and open the intro with you or I opening it. Um, you
That is
know,
true.
you could just come on and say some smart ass comments or whatever you find fitting. Remember, peeps, she's here to kind of bring a woman's touch to the show. But she's tough, man. I'll say this about Mandy: she does carry her own gear, and that is rare to see in a
Carry my
singer.
own
Man.
gear.
I'm telling you, you
Well,
know,
I yeah,
a good
well,
bandmate.
when you have like big saxophones, I mean like if
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect anyone to like carry stuff and then it's like,
Did anybody
that's
ever
just
come
how
up
I
to you
am.
and say that's the biggest saxophone I've ever seen?
Um uh, s- you know,
Yeah,
yeah, sometimes and it's
tenor.
like some people like I said, I could read people really well. I could read their intentions really well. So it's like sometimes people will say something like that and realize that it sounds kind of weird,
Yes,
and
it's
they'll give me the
provocative.
look. And then every now and then there's a creep that meant it, just like that. And,
Well, yeah, but you can tell some people are not really being creepy; they're just being funny. I mean, you can tell the
yeah,
difference, I think, because I know.
well, sure. Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying. You
mean,
can. You could tell like but then there's like all the gray areas where it's like the
right? Well,
creepy funny is like
I
you
it's
know.
always when you meet people, you can kind of tell from their vibe how far you can go. I mean, part of the like even on my show, I go pretty far, but it's all double entendre bullshit, and at the end of it, it's not like anything really fiendish. There's no meanness here, just not part of the show, unless occasionally we had a real bad caller once. But in 5 years, to only have had one person I've told to bite it and blocked them off the show, that's a pretty good record. We have a lot of people who watch it who are good people. Our friend Susan Fine, I hope she's watching wherever she is. She's back online, I think, um, and she's got her TV. She's rocking. She's at home
Nice.
and loving life. She's
That's
not
what's up.
her husband though. For everybody out there is the praying type. Say a prayer for our friend. Her husband's going through cancer in his esophagus. Same thing my brother's been going through. So, hey, if you're the praying type, say a few words for everybody you can. And esophageal, yes. Uh, it's a horrible thing. So be glad you have your health. Be glad you have the Live with Neve show, right? I mean, does this work even?
Oh, good
Hi.
for you.
They're
Good
all
for you.
laughing at us.
Good for you. I'm impressed.
And we're gonna go.
Good for you.
Oh shit, it doesn't stop. I'm gonna put Carlton's ad on. Every time I do this, I have to tell Facebook and stuff.
There's some changes headed like the Gulf Stream rising, like some gale that's been blowing off this wild bird eye. living in the restless shade. Poor man sagging cigarette takes the subway. Rich man folding old regret steps on the rundown.
Hey everybody, this is Steve from Reach for the Sky, along with Jay from Reach for the Sky. And you're listening live with Neve.
Hello there, my name is Andreas Hellqvist, this is Daniel Olsson, and we're live with Neve and having a great time.
Hey guys, my name's Eli Alger, and I'm here on Live with Neve.
That's right. Eli Alger, people, is blowing up, man. I'll tell you, the guy's got a great band. They kick serious ass. They're playing their ass off in the Midwest,
Nice.
like from Chicago all the way down to Nashville on that fruited plain out there. It's a good thing. I'm glad to see our friends doing good. You know, he's really great to watch. His show, I've seen him on TV, on YouTube. He was climbing up the truss, which I always
Awesome.
enjoyed myself. That's a particular drum habit, to climb the
Oh
truss.
yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
any rate, he's a great guy, and he's full of life and enthusiasm. Hell, the fact that he gave me a spot, I'm always happy. You know, 100 years from now, we'll know him, and he'll be a footnote in history like the rest of us. Dust in the wind, but you know, remember, folks, you write a great piece of music, you live forever, and that's the coolest thing about music. If you got the chops, man, put it down, peeps. If you're an old guy or girl and you're sitting there, you might be a natural. Go get an instrument, get some lessons, or really get an instrument and go on YouTube. If you're the home cooked kind of person who's got a creative personality, you know, like Mandy and I and my friend here and sidekick Rick lurking in the back room again. Your digs, man. I got you better green room there, Rick. I can't patch him over because we were on some other weird feed, or I'd patch him in, but we'd have to get him through makeup and stuff. You know, they're going to glam him up a bit.
Nice.
So when's your next date? Your gig?
Let's see, February 7th. February 7th, we're going to be at a new place. We're going to be at Locals in, I think it's in Manalapan or Freehold, down there somewhere.
Oh, down here.
Yeah, like down that way.
Very
And,
cool. And maybe we can get Bill, our buddy, and if he's not gigging, I'll see if we can be a double date, and we'll go see him.
Nice. Yeah.
That would be
So it'll
great.
be our first time there, so that's good, you know, checking
Excellent.
out some new places. We're gonna be getting some new pictures, like band photos taken in a couple weeks. You know,
And you having our friends do that, or who's doing your?
Jeff Crespi, like,
Okay.
yeah,
I don't know him,
and
but
he takes really really nice pictures, and like, you know, Dave, our guitar player, has worked with him in the past, so
excellent.
when it was time, he's like, oh, let's have this guy do it. I was like, all right, like you've done it before.
Hey,
Like,
you know what? If you got somebody good, it's like Nancy, you know, my pal, and she's done a lot of work for my band, and she'd help us any way she can. You know, one of these days we'll sit down and do a shoot with her, but she's busy and she's great. I mean, it's like having somebody who's really creative and gives a crap about your art and photos. And I say that, folks, I didn't run her ad yet, but she gives a crap. You know, like she's not going to sit at home and go, I'll just do a shit job and pass it on. She's finicky. When we used to work together with my band, she would kind of be like, I'm still working on it a little bit. And I can tell you, watching somebody's talent over a 10-year period, when you watch it grow like it has for her, she was good 10 years ago and was doing it. But now 10 years later, she's real good. And that it's just like music, art, writing, any of those things. If you know, if you're into the creative thing, it's so similar. I mean, you know, it's the same thing as just creating something out of your head. And I don't know, some people can do it great. Think of Led Zeppelin, one of my favorite bands. In fact, even when you and I were playing out, when I played with you that one time, when we got to the Led Zeppelin, it was in the second set, and it was really fun because I was like, oh, I know this song inside out. You know, we kicked the shit out of this. It was great. And
Yeah.
spirit of music, like a great tune like that, that'll live. There'll probably be kids at Berkeley in 100 years if we don't blow everything up. That'll be studying, 25th century music, and they'll go from Eminem, and then they'll have Led Zeppelin back in the '60s. The
Yeah.
big freaking tent
Yeah.
of music.
I
Think of
believe
it.
it.
Yeah, and it'll be studied and it'll be rehashed, and someday
Yeah.
somebody will be playing a chop somewhere, and everybody will think how great it is. And it's the beauty. I mean, think about it. We've been doing music since Pythagoras, writing it out and things like that. It's cool stuff. Yes, anthropologists. That's a great field to get into. You go to the Peace Corps or New Guinea. Yes, you go to New Guinea and try and make friends with the natives. There you go, an old Guinea. Yes. All right. I'm having a hard time here with the background.
Choo.
Easy there, buddy. Did you notice the craziness going on? Who's this? What are some things that could help you with anxiety? Yeah, I think I can help. I always use liquor and whores. No, I'm sorry.
Actually, I know a lot of stuff about anxiety. What a funny thing. What a funny question. I wonder if
It
this the
is.
universe sent you here. But are you if you're talking about like um anxiety like online, like,
Are you
I'm
talking
assuming
panic
that
attacks?
like what you're asking is that how do you deal with anxiety and you want to do a Twitch or YouTube to try to get you out of your zone or out of your comfort zone, which is funny because that's
Great.
how I met Neil.
That's how we
I
both met.
yes, I told Neil
Getting out of
flat
our
out.
comfort zone.
I don't really like being on camera. I don't really like talking to people. I'm kind of quiet, but I'm learning to talk more. Everyone kind of urges me to do that, be less of an introvert
Hold
because I'm
on.
always like, yeah, like so with the anxiety, like something that I do is besides grounding myself, and what grounding yourself means is, let's say your body is taking over and like the anxiety of your body's taking over. Grounding yourself is just reminding yourself where you are in that moment. You're thinking about, is the ground hard? Am I on a fluffy couch? Does it
Right.
smell like the food I cooked? Like you're thinking of your surroundings. You're just trying to get it to
Get
that where
get
you're
in get
centered,
into the
you
moment
know?
and remember
Yeah.
every moment you have is priceless, and don't waste
And
it
then
on energy on. I mean, I've had anxiety too, so I'm not going to interrupt too long, but people who have it, I get it. I'm a real outgoing, crazy kind of guy, but I've been that guy I never knew what a panic attack was. I thought I was having a freaking heart attack. It was
yeah,
just
that's what it's like.
stress.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it
Feeling.
feels
I know
like.
people who have them routinely, and it's terrible because I don't even know how you get through it if it happened a lot. I had it happen once, and it happened when our friend from Australia was staying at my house. I couldn't breathe, and I just couldn't breathe. That's the only symptom, and by the time I got to the doctor, my heartbeat was like up at 130 or something. I just like not myself. But it turned out it was just a panic attack.
Yeah. But
I
I
think
think, like,
breathing is overrated.
if you decide to do a Twitch or a YouTube to push yourself, if you're anything like me, what's going to wind up happening is you're going to learn how to express yourself better. And
Yes.
then that in and of itself is going to make your anxiety feel a little better. And then, um, depending on what it is that you do in life or what it is you want to do, there's a lot of people who have anxiety, I feel like part of what makes them anxious is like the feeling that disconnect. It's like you're kind of like grasping for something to control, you
Right.
know? It's like that.
And I think all
Yeah.
the news and politics makes people a little frazzled. The existential threat every day pounded into us on the news. Buddha, you just posted a new thing here. I'm going to post it.
I understand.
Okay,
And
I'll
that's
say
I
existence.
and I was like that's how I realized just recently too. And this is funny because like the one of the guys in my band is like, no, you need to to do like a podcast about like the band. You need to do this. You need to,
Mhm.
and he's been encouraging me. He's like, you need to talk, because when you talk, people listen and you have interesting stories to tell. And I say to him this. I go, I stopped talking a long time ago when I felt like no one understood what I was saying. So like for me, it was like, all right, like, I have to look back at why it is. Why do I feel like I can't express myself or don't express myself? Or, and then once, oh, from
Stephen
Australia.
Austin,
Nice.
another. I'm
Oh,
going
that's what's
through all.
up.
He put a bunch of stuff. Getting back to his Twitch dream. Listen, man. If you have any questions, you can email me. I'll tell you, it's easy, and you can do it for free at first. And if you want to start something and learn how to do it, I use StreamYard. They have a free version, and you can use that, and they don't make you like kick out after a month. The free version, you can only broadcast, I think, to 2 locations, maybe 3 now. I don't know. I've been a client of theirs for 5 years, and I've watched them grow, and they've given us better product. We can do more with our graphics and crap like that, and it's great company. So if you're out there, if you want to start this thing, dude, Buddha, what's your name, man, or girl, or lady, or friend, whoever you are? Um, Tell us what your name is. That way, I won't be calling you Buddha. I
Well,
mean,
unless they like to be called Buddha. I mean,
yeah, if he likes to be called
there are
Buddha,
worse things to be called.
we'll call you whatever you like. Just don't call me late for dinner. I'm all right. Yeah, there we go. That's I won't even say it. I thought terrible, dark things. I'm gonna try to be a little better this year. I've said a few things that have offended a few people. Speaking of which, was a gag that I did, and I'm not sure if I did it with you. I might have done it. It was the guy Tourette's man, and there's a new show on television about a girl with Tourette's.
Hmm.
So I'm not going to get into the story of anything that I did that might have offended anyone because it's just digging it up. They can find it if they want, but I want to mention it though for a reason because glad you asked that. Um, the thing was, it shows a 22-year-old girl who's going to college. She's thankfully got a big family, and she has Tourette's, and she has it very seriously. Where she does the stereotypical. So she was going dick, 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 small dick,
Ah.
dick, dick, and
Uh-huh.
she was saying things like and she twitched, and it's
Yeah.
very. I never knew anything about it other than the jokes that people make. So getting into it and watching it, it's a really hard thing to live with.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
sure.
it's like I didn't realize how profound it can be for somebody,
Yeah,
and
and it differs depending on who you are. Everyone has different
ticks. Yeah,
yeah, has their different ticks. Yeah, it's not just, people think it's all just like talking, and it's like, no, like not at
no,
all.
they
It could
they
be
wrinkle
just
up their face
physical.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
they they can
Mhm.
strike out or throw
That's
things,
right.
and
It could
she
be
in
anything.
objects of like in groups of three. When she'd say something, like sometimes she'd just say dinner time, dinner time, and she had a little hand motion she'd do, but
Yeah.
she's funny as hell. She's a cute young girl. It reminds me of my daughter when she was that age, of course. You can't turn off your dad genes when you're looking at this. And I'm thinking, man, the poor kid's gonna have it's like, what do you do for a job when it's like a very difficult thing. They can't control it. It's not like you can give them a bunch of Xanax and have them go in and she'd just be like, out. And she's a very vivacious, funny chick, got a boyfriend. It's funny. I mean, the stuff that she says, it's just like it made me appreciate the fact that yes, my joke was in poor taste for anybody who was offended. But on the other hand, sometimes the best way to look at horrific situations is just to make a laugh out of it. So don't take anything too seriously out there. If you're watching this show, the one thing you don't have to do is take it real serious because we're just having fun and goofing off. Like on a day like today, for you people who haven't seen it, like you from Australia, we have guests routinely, and sometimes they don't show. So we'll just sit here and talk about public things that are going on. Topics can be any. You called in, saying you're kind of looking to do something. Go on and try doing a podcast. Think about something you really like to do. If you know a lot about golf, do a golf show. There's room for everybody, but here's the thing, and I know it myself. We have to break through the noise to get through the layers of Hollywood and the industry and the people who have co-op deals, and it's a big machine out there.
It is a
So
big
remember,
machine.
keep your results grounded. Don't think you're going to be the next podcast sensation, because you may, but you may not. It's just like anything. Some people just have the knack for it. Obviously, I don't, but I have a lot of fun with it anyway. I'm not sitting here having to eat for my supper. If I was, I'd be starving. It's like, but nonetheless, over the years, we've had at least 300 bands on and artists. We've had some pretty famous people who are always very gracious to come on. And we've met some great friends who are just out working musicians, kicking ass out there. And that's really all the show's about. I like to help put ads up for my friends' bands. And yes, if anybody's out there and want to hire me to be a right-wing ideological dickhead for the next 4 years, show me the money. That's it. Show me the money. Give me the script, and I'll just go out and rant and rave. And at the end of the night, I'll drive my Porsche home and sit there and look at the ocean. What can I say? I'm joking when I say that, but we've purposely not really done heavy politics here because it's a turnoff. And now that the election's over, I mean, I'd love somebody to, buy the show. You can rename it the, I don't know, the Gibson Live with Neve Hour or something. We're open to that. So if you're out there and you want to give us some money, we'd love to help you. And you can help us. Right? It's a big world. You never know. Our new thing being on X, actually, to talk about that for you guys who watch it on Facebook or YouTube, X is the biggest platform on the planet right now. So if anybody's going to see the show and enjoy it, I have thousands of fans who like our show and who now are going over to X. And people who don't know the show is our biggest group of people who are now new to the show. Because in a week, when I look at the numbers from last week, it'll show like how many people around the world have just tuned in. And it's not huge, but 5,000 subscribers on one page, 4,800 on another. It's growing and people watch it. And I think by putting on a bigger screen, like I know a lot of friends of mine are buying a picture up on the Times Square billboard. And it's a nice thing to do. It makes you feel like, wow, I'm really something. But I'm just telling you guys out there, spend your money on a rehearsal studio or going to record music. Because unless you really have an album breaking out that you're spending the money to back it, it's a bad use of your budget for media. There's better ways to spend your money, $1,500 if you've never done advertising. That's just a caveat that I've seen with some of my friends get roped in. And it's all about the day-to-day. It's the habits you build as a musician that are going to get you ahead. It's not,
That's right. That's
if
right.
you sit and watch it and you're not even, do you do this when you watch a gig? Don't you mentally sit there and practice in your head and listen and just like ever
what do you
sing
mean?
it in your head, in your mind's eye?
When I'm watching other people?
Yeah.
Is that what you're like when I go to like
You go
other
to a
shows?
gig and you see a great band, do you sit and think about it and go, wow, these are great band? I learn shit all the time, like watching drummers,
It really depends,
Uh-huh.
because like I haven't been out like socially to see a band in a while.
Right.
Like and like when it is a band, you know, listen, I'm snobby when it comes to music, so it's like
I hear you. I am too.
like the thing is this, when I go to see a band, if I love the band, right, like
Mhm.
I'm not kind of
You
in
willfully
in
suspend
learning mode.
disbelief, and you can just get into the groove. You're not thinking about the
Oh yeah,
technique.
I just soak it all in. It's like it
Right.
all gets soaked in. And then what'll happen is later on, I'll like kind of think back and I'll be like, it was like this and oh, they did this. Oh,
Right.
but in the moment it's like I'm there. Like it's like in the zone. There's nobody else. There's like
I have to
me
say,
and the band. And that's it.
the right band, and that is definitely where you just forget what you're watching other than it's just kicking your ass. I watched a video of Ringo playing with his big band, the last iteration of it. It was fucking great, man. They just like playing out the hits, banging them out. And Ringo's like 78. Now that's just the way to roll through life. I mean, playing music till you're kind of old is fun. I wonder where our friend from Australia. Where do you live there, Buddha? Do you live in? We'll see. We hook up our Australian crew. We've got about a dozen fans down there.
Australia's big though.
It's huge.
Yeah. Yeah,
I want to know. Like all of our friends are in Brisbane. Our roving reporter lives in Brisbane.
that's
Our guitar player Doug DeYoung, one of my fellow. He's a Dutchman, in case you can't guess. A tremendously talented guy. He's out touring with Steve Vai on the guitar tour. And he showed Steve Vai something he never saw, which is his patented arm move up the neck. It's like, bah, bah, bah. And I just was like watching him do it. And Steve Vai and Satch were sitting there going, what are you doing that? What is that? You know, because it's something they hadn't seen, which is rare. Those guys were both, they're exceptional musicians. And I love watching those guys play. I love instrumental music or seeing a great jazz band. I saw Snarky Puppy a year or two ago. It was so good. It made me happy to see young guys and girls fucking playing really great jazz that they wrote. It was fucking. My friend flew up from Florida, Jay Crocker. If you're out there, I'm putting an offer on a house in DeLand, which is where my friend lives of all places. It's so hard to find a small place in Florida now that you can afford. But we're looking at one that's like right in DeLand. It's nice downtown, got places you can walk to eat. And that's what I need when we're not here. I could go down and see my parents for a month and not have to spend a pile of money other than the rent, which, I'd rather invest in real estate than the stock market when it's so volatile. Not that, you shouldn't if you have money. I tell you people, stocks are great, but real estate, there's only so much of it. And when you have money, buy when it's low. That's why I'm looking in Florida right now. There's a lot of things that suck about Florida. Low wages compared to the rest of the nation. Low taxes, though. You don't have an income tax. But the downside of it is the low-priced wages, the lack of affordable housing, the alligators. Now we have king cobras, reticulated pythons. What else we got? We got those big fucking rats. I don't know what they're called, but they're like nutrias. They're like a big 20-pound rat. When I worked at the aquarium, they used to get loose out of their enclosure, right? So I'd be walking through the aquarium, checking all my exhibits. I had to make sure all the microphones worked at all the stages. Every morning I'd do my walkthrough, and several times I'd be walking through. And the first time it happened, I have 3 of these big fucking rats coming towards me. And I'm like, whoa. And I'm on my radio. Hey, we got 3 nutrients in the dome here. And then I saw this girl come out, one of the biologists. She comes up and snatches 2 of them up by the tail. And I went, oh, that's standard operating procedure. She goes, yeah. So I went over and grabbed the one by the tail and helped put them back in there. But they roam. We also had, I think it's like a big thing like that, but it's bigger. A capybara.
Oh, my son loves those. Kai loves those.
Those are cool animals. And we had a few of those, and they would also escape. And they jumped into one of the smaller aquariums because they had all the fish. They're like pain in the ass. We had vampire bats, which are probably the most disgusting thing on earth to feed, because you got to feed them blood, and it's disgusting. We'd get it from Winn-Dixie, where the slaughter place was.
Oh, gross.
Oh, man. And those things, I could walk by the hall. We had them in a closet in racks. And when the biologist would open the door, the whole wing would stink like ass. Oh, I hated those things. I always get skeeved. Like when they first got them, we all wanted to go and just take a peek and see what these little fuckers look like.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're nasty little things. And they walk up on you and they lick your, they have an anesthetic in their saliva. So like they'll lick your toe. And you'll think, oh, honey, what are you doing? And then it makes a little incision, draws blood. It's fucking skeeves me just thinking about
disgusting.
it. And you can get rabies from them.
That's disgusting.
But they have those little bastards now. It's like people import the weirdest shit, and like Florida, like they need more things that bite. God almighty.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like it. I prefer like New Jersey. This is a place where we do things right. In Florida, it's fucked up. It's got its good points though. Depending on how you look at it, everybody's got a gun. A polite society is an armed society, and people tend to not be too crazy unless if somebody's getting crazy in Florida, they're fucking stupid because everybody has a gun and they will all shoot you. If you're trying to rob, carjack some bitch out of cars. Oh, yeah, we've got about 5 minutes. There's a sheriff in Florida named Grady Judd. And if you want to go on YouTube and get some laughs, go on there when he's like got an episode of he'll have like two guys on the lam trying to drag people out of cars. The cops show up. Then what do? They take a gun and they shoot a Polk County sheriff. So the next day, Grady's on the news going, "This is the dumbest ass I've seen ever. I've been in corrections for 60 years, and this is bullshit. This guy's so dumb. He's so stupid. He actually pulled his gun, and he shot at my deputy, and they responded, 'No, if you pull a gun on our deputy, we will kill you.'" And then they asked what happened, how many times he'd been shot. It was something like 37 times. There was 3 guys. He'd been hijacking cars for like an hour in the same area and just couldn't get traction and go anywhere. And it was really an insane situation. But hey, Gina, babe, how are you?
Gina.
I'm so glad to see she's able to get it on YouTube. I need to put a sign up on Facebook that we're kind of here in X, for the reasons unfolding. We can monetize on X, so that's my plan why we're here. We should be able to do it quicker because we have a bigger scope of people out there. It's a big world, and X is at the center of it. And Facebook's like so yesterday. Kidding. Facebook is what it is. It's for us seasoned citizens to talk to our friends, and some people use it to pick up chicks, and some people use it to just learn things.
Yeah, I got unfriended the other day because someone asked me out, asked me to meet them for dinner, and I said that I really just don't have time in my life to entertain dates. And they just sent me an okay, cool, and then like unfriended me.
Like, oh yeah, like he really dug you, man. I'm telling you that, asshole. But we have to send. Remember, you can like find out anything about anybody out there. So if somebody's giving you any hassle, let me know.
No, listen, that's one thing. You already know no one hassles me because there's no coming back from that.
No, exactly. Many are called, few are chosen. Gotta keep it that way. It's like Men in Black school when you're dating at our age. You have to be like, oh, no. You seem kind of broken person we got here. I mean, how disturbed are they? Are they going to turn into a stalker? Are they a nice person? And then all of a sudden they turn into Jekyll and Hyde. I watch too much true crime on television.
Yeah.
I just see like Wives with Knives, all these crazy shows. And it's like, it's crazy stuff. I think I ought to write a heavy metal song called Wives with Knives. It's like that, those shows, they're like, so I think to myself, God, man, I've done worse shit like that. And none of my wives have stabbed me. I had a girlfriend once put a lighter in my hand, a car lighter, because I broke up with her. And she lit a cigarette, and I lit the thing for her and handed it to her. She handed it back and put it in my hand. And for like 5 years, I had a grill on my hand.
Oh my goodness!
I was just like, "Ow, man, get out of my car, you skank!" God damn, And I had to play. It was an ugly moment, but
yeah, I believe it.
It really, I have to say, sometimes some of the gigs we play, there was some, you should call it rough trade, man. I've only had a real chicken wire screen once in my life, but I got to tell you, that was the funniest shit I've ever seen. All through the night, I had a big grin on, thinking it was like the Blues Brothers. And I kept waiting for people to wail shit at the curtain. I had a cell phone. I was going to take a video of that shit, But it was in a big aircraft hangar, and they had a stage that was like 12 feet high. And then they had chicken wire all across the front. And they had a ladder. It was a pain in the ass to load in. I got to tell you, bringing amps up there and shit. And they'd have an opening act, so you'd have to have 2 drum kits wedged up there against the wall. Oh, man. But it was a fun place. It was called Brillo's, and it packed full of crazy rednecks. It was a big-ass country bar. And it's the kind of place like Dwight Yoakam.
Sounds like a fun place. My goodness.
It was great fun. Watching all the ladies go out and do their boot scoot boogie shit. They're all doing the line dancing. They're fun people. Everybody's drunk and having a good time,
Yeah.
The Texas, yeah, let me tell you, man, I've been dragged into that at a country bar a time or two. And it can be fun if you're into that, you know. I'm much more interested in being at the gig playing in some capacity than out there with civilians. It creeps me out, you know. I'm sorry, I like the audience, but
Civilians.
I like to be doing at the gig, you know. I like people, you know. I go out and say hello to everybody, but I, you know, just cannot fix my watch here. It's pissing me off. Just stop. Those are all those are youthful indiscretions, we'll call them. No, I don't think we're going to talk about that. I don't want to talk about it. See, I get people off air now. My friend is commenting. I have to try and keep my sanity while we're doing this. So, everybody, listen, it's time. It's been an hour of fun. And we could sing you the Mickey Mouse song, and that'll be our outro. MICKEYMOUSE.
Bye-bye.
We're Moosans. People, have a great
Later.
one. We'll see you next Friday. Probably won't be Memphis Gold, but we will have someone on. We have our friend, man, from down in Tennessee, Efron, and his beautiful, lovely wife will be coming on. They have a new bunch of music, and that's going to be some fun. Gina, I hope you're safe out there. I know shit's weird. I was going to try and come to NAM, but there's just no way happening. Another friend of mine, like I said, is flying there tomorrow, and you know, I wouldn't be flying personally. I think if this shit's going on, I don't want to go to NAM, even, you know, if I could pull it off. It's too much chaos out there. I didn't need to go add to it. Even flights, it's hard to get plane flights out there, and you know, it's just, I like to stay in places where it's safe and people aren't on the street roaming around with their house burnt down. It's just. Yes, our friend Rick does send his regards to you, Mandy. He's lurking.
Bye, Rick.
So we'll see everybody next week, and let's see. We have the wonderful Fulu Maziki. He loves your saxophone playing. So everybody, bye. This is an old shot of my band, and if we get attacked, it's being used for I don't know. What was that called there? It's for promotional purposes. Yeah, something like that. At any rate, how do we get this thing to play? Bye, everybody.